All right, let's get started. We have a great presentation tonight by Ed Camp and Steve Citro. But before we get started, I'd like to introduce myself, Scott Campbell from the South Chapter. And I'm fortunate enough to be taking over for Carmine Picardo as the chairperson for the six-man mechanic committee. And proud to do it.
Just because I don't get an outfit and wear every single day like some people in this house doesn't mean
Can we shut off the microphone, please?
Yes.
How about to go?
Somebody's talking still. Proud that I've been asked to do that, and hope I can lead the committee like Carmine has done over the last couple of years, and we listen to everything everybody has to say. Before we get started, just going to ask that everybody shut their microphone off for the presentation tonight, and shut your video portion off also. Any questions that you do have, submit them in the chat box down below, and we'll be monitoring them and answering them and making sure that we get to them in a pretty quick manner. Other than that, I'm going to turn it over to Steve Citro and Eddie Camp so they can get started. We're scheduled to have about 425 people registered for this evening. So it's a beautiful crowd to have, and I'm happy for the initial turnout. Just as a note that the next session will be on February 8th, same time. So, but we'll talk about that later. So with no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Steve and Ed.
Thanks, Scott. Yeah, you covered all my initial things. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to optimize for video. Hopefully everything goes smoothly. If you guys are seeing choppiness, I'd like to just reiterate, please shut your camera off. That will help.
Steve, give him our Venmo account number so we can get paid for this damn thing, will you please?
It's 732.
All right, move on. I'm sorry.
So tonight's focus is going to be on the line of scrimmage. Obviously, that's Ed's area of expertise. I follow his lead. But, it's important for the other positions to know what the other folks are doing as well. It helps you become a better official. We will talk a little bit about, some deep wings and probably umpires and referees as Ed sees different things that could be pointed out. But like I said, tonight's primary focus is going to be on the line of scrimmage. So we're going to optimize here. We're going to do that. I'm going to share. Hopefully everybody now has my screen.
Yep. Good job.
And we are set. So here we are, opening kickoff. Everybody knows their positioning by now. We got the umpire who's now behind the kicker, which I think was a good change last year. He no longer has to worry about jogging into the middle of the field. He's already there. Deep wings on K and R's line respectfully. That's the F on the 50, the S on the 40, and referee and short wings are on the goal line. As a short wing, when I was standing at the pylon, I never want to be on top of the pylon. I take a step out of bounds and a step behind it. This way, in that rare case where the pylon is being threatened by the football, we could easily take a step to either side to adjust our positioning. And then from there, the three of us on the goal line want to wait until the kick is ended officially before we start moving upfield. You're going to see the line judge, he sees the ball touched, and it's one of those where you get antsy and you want to start moving. And as we all know, the hardest thing to do as an official is to slow down and stay still.
Yep, run it so we can talk a brief amount of time about this. You want to treat the return of a kickoff on the line of scrimmage as you would a sweep. You're going to let them all go by. Make sure it is a running play. So the first thing you need, though, as Steve says, is we need the end of the kick. Because if it gets muffed and we're upfield, we got a problem.
So we have the muff here, it's still rolling around, and you just want to hold your water.
Yeah, he's a little quick.
Yeah,
That's not bad.
no, it's not terrible, but just stay still. Let the play develop ahead of you. As a short wing, we want to be behind the play anyway. So just let it develop.
It's not a critical 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 spot. So we can miss this by a yard and you'll still be okay. So if you stay on the pylon and put this at the 9, 10, or even 11, we're fine with that. Okay. The thing is, you don't want to have that muff take a crazy kick bounce and get on the goal line and you're on the 2 ruling muff on kickoff into the end zone, which is a major play in high school football, right? That's a touchback.
Yep. Okay. Moving on.
We got somebody monitoring the chat room, right? Yeah. Okay.
All right. So the next play is, I'll just run it through. But this is what Ed would classify as a roll up your sleeves type of play. You see, we got a bad snap over his head. As short wings, we got to get back there and help the referee out here since he's the only one back there.
So let me explain roll up your sleeves. Sometimes people are looking for this type of play to be covered in a mechanics manual. And it doesn't have to be. This is an unusual play. You just got to get back there as the line of scrimmage guy does at the top. And he just feels between him and the referee that the ball stayed in the field of play. Roll up your sleeves and just use the judgment you have. Now, if you're a first-year guy, your sleeves aren't rolled up enough. But if you're a veteran, you've seen these plays before at any level. So just hustle back there, do the best you can. And as Coach Hill says all the time, don't look for the 1995 book on how to officiate every single play, because the teams don't do that for us every single play.
Yep. And of course, you see at the bottom, the coaches, everybody thinks it's a safety. By getting back there, you assure everybody you're in the right position. You saw it dead in the field of play. All right.
Hey, wait, a question. Can you run that last one back again? Because
Sure.
It seemed like at first you were mentioning that he was late getting back there.
You sit there and you look, it's one of those plays where you kind of get crossed up.
He's still up at the 14 when the guy's down. Seemingly the one.
And why would you want to run back and get that spot? Is that a critical spot? Or is it going to make it third down? And
what you had said was you wanted to get back and help the ref because the ref was the only guy back there spotting it.
That's a good question. You can help the referee. This is what I mean by roll your sleeves up. You could stand still because you ain't getting to the goal line. For the real accurate call, you're not pylon cam. So what you do is you just turn and help the referee with what you think is that the ball's. There's two results. It's either a safety or on the 1 or 2 yard line. It doesn't matter whether it's the 1 or the 2. We need to know the thing. I think the referee can figure this out. No, I don't think we're giving the referees enough credit, but that's a good point. He's got to stay. If the kid scoops it up, now we have a lot of.
He's already down. He's already on the ground before the guy really moves.
Yeah, nothing's going to happen. I got you.
This is something we should talk about too. Yeah.
Steve, question for you in the chat room already. Wants to know, why did the wing move from the 11 to the 14? I don't believe that happened, but considering the ball started at the 14.
It started at the 14.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure why he moved to the 11. I'm not sure what the question is.
Go ahead. Let's find out.
He
Continue on.
He started drifting, and then he rolled up his sleeves. He went to work. Is what happened.
Very good. The gentleman apologized.
All right, what's Freddie Yager got?
Explain who Coach Hill is.
Tom Hill, 3 Super Bowls, about 19 championships.
Jersey guy. That's all you need to know.
At Morristown, right?
Originally, now he lives in Florida. He's got a tan year round.
All right, moving on. All right, so we're snapping from the -1 here, right? Based on the previous play. So what's important here for the short wings? we got to cover that goal line, right? We got to make sure the ball is completely out of the end zone or we have a safety. Snap, he gets back, he covers that goal line. Exactly what we say, works back into the field of play and gets the spot.
That's excellent reverse mechanics there. Excellent.
Okay. Now we are at the 7 going in, so goal line mechanics now. Similar movement, it just, we're going the opposite direction. You can see sometimes this happens to us. Here, he's a little delayed getting to the pylon. It's okay, you don't have to sprint there, but you want to be moving there at the snap. The important thing I want to point out too is a lot of times, especially less experienced short wings, they're so focused on getting to that pylon that they lose sight of what their responsibilities are. You want to move controlled and know what your responsibilities are and continue to officiate the play.
Steve, one other thing here. If you go back to the inception of this play, when the nose of the football touches the 7, what I like the line of scrimmage guy at the top to do is head right to where the G is up there. Okay. That creates an immediate cushion off the pylon, because if the pylon is threatened, you're going to have blockers, tacklers, and runners there. Okay. So you don't want to be on top of it. Let's watch. If we had blockers, tacklers, and runners there, watch where the line of scrimmage guy would be. All right, they'd be right in his grill. So we want him back by the G. Good job moving the G back there, but that's where you should be. Start from there and come back in.
Yeah, I don't remember if I kept it in or not, but I have a play, down the other end of the field. It's compressed to the bottom of the screen. You'll see the short wing starting a little deeper back to start with that cushion.
That's what you should do here. Once the nose of the football starts, you don't have to put your toes on the sideline anymore. You can get back, which gives you a better angle to be off the pylon. Okay?
Yep, like I would start at the back of the red here.
Yeah, at least, yeah, yep. And angle back from there. Your first step is even a 45-degree angle back from there.
Yep. All right, so this play is a good play to talk about cross-field mechanics or soft spots. We'll let it run out and we'll talk about it a little bit. So you see all the action, it starts rolling to the top and the short wing starts bailing out. When he's backing up, it should tell the short wing at the bottom, he's likely going to need help with this spot. And, one thing I try to do, like if I was the official at top, I'll try to stay back there a little longer and watch the action and make sure everything clears up cleanly, knowing that my partner has my spot. And if I was at the bottom, I would try to get over and say, if I was working with Ed, I have your spot on the radio. So Ed knows he could take his time getting up there.
As soon as the guy reads, and don't watch Sundays, okay? On Sunday, they have these guys sitting still and they're going to get killed. I'm still supporting back up on these, okay? There's just too many people in the side zone and bodies flying. So as soon as you're the wing at the bottom and you see that right there, you're going to be the soft spot guy.
And you can see that the wing at the bottom here, he's on the spot, he's got his hand up.
Yep.
So, you have somebody you trust. Like I said, I like getting on the radio, Ed, I have your spot, and it helps him slow down as well. All right. So this one is, a punt play. I didn't do a whole heck of a lot with kicking plays since we're going to have a kicking session later in the season, but I didn't want to ignore it entirely either. This one's going to be a rugby style kicker, so there's a lot of moving parts here. But the key for the short wings is you have to stay on the line until the ball crosses. Now remember, once he starts going out like that, he's a runner, so he's not getting that extra protection. And I think this is a mechanic we're going to talk about a little bit with the deep wings positioning on punts. So we kicked out from the 50. So it doesn't specify in the manual that he's supposed to start on the pylon. However, if we roll this back a little bit, he doesn't have a great cushion right here. So when that ball hits the ground, he really has to hustle back. If he was 10 yards behind the deepest receiver, he can make a easier transition to cover this ball rolling on the ground.
Who knows how far this guy can kick the ball? The special teams coach of purple. Okay. So if the special teams coach of purple puts this kid on the 18-yard line, we should be back by the 10, if not the 8-yard line, so we can cover this. Okay. We don't know unless you're walking around before the game and you're seeing some kid, playing Ray Guy. But and there's nobody on this call knows who Ray Guy is anyway. So
I do.
Okay, good. Bruce. Yeah, you and I, Bruce. Yeah. No. Jim, I'm going to say like 7 to 10 yards behind them. Okay. Just because you know what we have here? We have the goal line threatened on a bad hop. Okay. So I would push back a little bit. Okay. Yeah, because you can always come up on this play if it gets caught and returned, or more importantly, if it gets, rolls to the end zone. We don't want to be ruling on touchback or 1 yard line from the 6.
Ed, anything else you want to talk about in relation to a rugby style kicker?
No, that's more on the ref.
Okay.
Yeah, the ref's got to judge whether they like.
All right. So here we're going to watch the headlinesman at the bottom. Shows good patience, snapping to the play. Ed likes to say, stay still, use sniper eyes, and maintains a cushion on the play. This is also a play where it was tackled in bounds. So if he needs help, the line judge at the top could help him with a crossfield spot. All right, this is one that Jim Kapora likes classifying as neutral legs. And I think as an organization, we need to get better at blowing these plays dead properly. So just watch this, we'll talk about it a little more. So he's still driving, and right here he stopped. He's not going anywhere anymore. Kill it, shut it down, because what's going to happen if we let this play out? His knees are going to get twisted up underneath him, and he's going to get hurt. I think it's safe to classify it as when he's no longer in control of his own legs. Would that be a good place to stay that? So the wings come in here, they kill the play, shut it down. Obviously, we had a first down, and keep it moving.
Steve, can I stop you there a second?
Sure.
Chat room, there's a comment here on the punt play again. Who's 5 yards back? Who's 10 yards back?
So can I chime in here? This is Jim Kapora. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me, Bruce?
Yeah, Jim.
Love you, Jim. Please do, because I know this confused me.
So we already had a mechanics committee, early meeting. We're going to meet again in March. That mechanic will go away. That is probably the worst thing we ever did last year. We put officials in no-win situations, and I'll take the hit for that. That 5 and 10 is gone. This year, 2023, the S and F are going to be on the same yard line. Eddie just hit upon it. 7, 8, 10 yards. I mean, we're not dealing with protractors here, but the 5 and 10 thing is gone out. So whenever you see this year in these training sessions, just a mental reminder, that mechanic is gone. It's going to be both officials, hopefully about on the same yard line, at least 7 and as many as 10 yards behind the deepest receiver. So if we'd had that mechanic in place last year on the play that Steve showed, it would not have put that side judge in the difficult position that it did. Yeah, I'll take the hit for that as a mechanics person, but we will get that corrected.
I have a quick question, Dominic here.
You know,
If you guys are, if Jimmy's saying we can take up to 10, is it safe to say take as much as we can get at 10, sitting back at 10?
I mean,
Absolutely.
if I was a deep one, that's what I would be doing.
Dom, if this kid catches the ball and you're 10 yards behind, you're trailing a running play. We all do that for a living. If that ball gets muffed and is squirreling around by the 1 yard line and you're on the 6, we're screwed. You can't accurately.
Useless.
The federation rule allows for a kid to muff the ball and it to touch the waterfall. We have a touchback. Somebody's got to be there to make that call. This is not, we're reffing for the 1 in a million play. If the kid catches the ball, we trail it from 8, 9 yards away. We do that all the time.
Love it. Thank you.
Hey, good job, Dominic, this week, by the way. Dominic had the Vikings and the Giants, and all the Jersey guys are happy with you. They'll buy you dinner.
Thanks, Ed.
All right, so I picked out this play and I'm gonna go ahead and say it up front. This is a nitpick, and this is a nitpick because I used to do this and I lost a play in a game one time because I changed it down on my hand too early. I have some notes that'll come out after this meeting. Whatever you choose to do, you need to formulate a pre-snap routine that works for you. Ed tells me what I do is too much for him. I don't believe it, but
It's okay.
so what I do is after the play's over, I raise my hand for a dead ball. The action clears as I am backing off the field. Then I change the elastic on my hand to second, third, whatever down it is. As I'm backing off, if everybody's going to huddles, I'll take a look up. I'll peek at the clock, probably because I work for Jim and clocks are very important to him. Make sure the clock is running when it should be, stop when it shouldn't be. From there, I tell myself, okay, in this situation, the line to gain is the 42. I just need a mental marker in my head to know where we got to get to. That's what works for me. Like I said, please figure out what works for you. And the importance of that routine is, let's say I'm on this game, I just screwed up the last play and I'm kicking myself. All right. I don't have Dominic Pender to help me snap me out of it. I'm just in my own head. If I start getting in my routine again, I break out of that funk because I'm in a routine. And when we do the little things well over and over again, it's when we, don't even have to think about it and we can make those bigger calls easily.
So, Steve, hold on right here.
Okay.
I'm with you on all of that stuff. The only thing I don't like, and I had this discussion with you this week, is the line to gain in that official at the top in his head. All right. Telling him that the line to gain is the 42-yard line just gives you more, it gives you information overload. As I've said a million times, doesn't matter that they're paying a clock operator. The real clock operator is that line of scrimmage official at the bottom of the screen. He's not necessarily going to blow the play dead on the top of the screen. He's not necessarily going to know, forward progress, but he will know, judging by his partner's actions, that the line to gain is one of three things. It has been made, which would mean the guy at the bottom is going to commence with the timeout signal. It's short. What would he do then? Ring up third down in this case and just go third. Clearly short. And then the third thing is, if it's close, the guy at the bottom is most likely going to start the pinch. Okay. Other than that, I'm with you, Steve. I'm good on all formations and all that. But to say the 42-yard line, I mean, that's okay for the guy at the bottom. But the guy at the top, he can't count steps to the 42-yard line. What's the other factor here, line of scrimmage officials? Come on. Long 5, short 5. Look where we are here, right? Long 5, short 5. So you got to get, those people on the line if you get good chain crew, you just tell them, I want to know one thing. I want to know if that 2 is on the other side of the tape or on the back side of the tape. And they tell you long 5. And there, I know Jerry Picazio and I think Masucci are doing a Zoom night on O to O. That's one of the things you should put in there right now. Is it long 5 or short 5? Then we could throw out the encroachment fouls quickly, and we know to tell the coach and the whole bit. I was shocked this year that how many coaches don't know what long 5 and short 5 were.
And that's actually I started building into my own this year, long 5, short 5 over the O to O.
Yep.
Part of the notes I'll send out after this is instructions to the chain crew. And you'll know as soon as you start talking to them if they can handle this. But if you have a good box guy, first off, get his name, talk to him the entire game. And if they're good, talk to, hey, help me out, long 5, short 5. And then, because we don't want to look down at the chains. All right, so like I said, this was a nitpick. You just watch the short wing at the top. As the play is dead, he's changing the down on his hand. He reach and he's changing. And what happens if we had a foul now? Is he going to remember that he changed it? Is it going to screw him up? That's why I screwed it up. Just something maybe you can learn from one of my mistakes.
Hey, Bruce, that last comment's really good by Steve. I did not see the end of his name. Can we read that? That's a great question.
Steve or Rich?
Oh, Rich, I'm sorry. I half looked at it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Pre-snap routine should be as natural as regular as breathing. Basically, it should be as simple as breathing. Taking a breath.
Absolutely. That's a great point right there. It can't be something that you're making comments in your head about. Okay, it's just gotta be part of your routine. Pre-snap routine is just what it is, a routine. Okay.
And it keeps you in rhythm. And you know what? It helps you be ready from play number 1.
Yep.
All right. This one I just pointed out. You'll see the short wing at the bottom here. He's given his leg to the receiver. Then you see him back out that he had him on the line, just helping him line him up. These are high school kids. They're not, if they're coached well, they're going to at least talk to you. Then you could give them the leg for the line of scrimmage. And I know if they're working with me, I'm working with them.
Right.
And, we don't want to be over technical putting them on or off the line. If you can make them legal, keep them legal. If there's 2 and there's a blade of grass in between them, leave it alone. All right. This play is to show a forward progress spot. So you're going to see the runner catches ball, he's hit, he's driven backwards, and then we give him the progress he earned. And we're using a cross field spot here. The age at the bottom is staying patient, waiting for the play to end. And then you could see quickly he looked across the field to line up with his partner.
So at the top of the screen, if you see your buddy driven back by the play, by everybody in that side zone at the bottom, then the official at the top, the line of scrimmage official at the top, needs to help him out in some way. And O to O helps out. I have your spot, Steve.
And I know if I'm at the bottom here, that just puts me at ease. I know I can take my time. And you can see all the action goes away from the line judge too.
I might go with a wind here too. It's close enough to the sideline, although it's not on the far side, but clock operators constantly tell me that they would like a wind here.
Yeah, that's close enough to want to wind there, Ed?
I think you don't go any further than that. But the most important thing is that the line of scrimmage official at the bottom, he needs to look. I'm sorry, Raheem. No. So the line of scrimmage official at the bottom needs to come up on this play and be looking across, because he's going to be the guy to stop the clock here, right? The chains are at the top of the screen. Did we get a first down on the play?
See if we roll it back.
See the line to game. Pull that thing out, will you, please? So the line to game looks like the 18 or the 19. Let's watch the play.
Or the 13 if we're on the right 5-yard line.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're 10. Where are we? Yeah, 14. Let's go.
It looks like we spotted at the 14.
Okay, so the guy at the bottom is making that call for us now, right? And he's looking down here at the pile. We want him looking across first. And the pile help, Bruce, would come from you or the deep wing or the referee here. The guy at the bottom is
Yes.
running the clock. The line of scrimmage official is running the clock.
Now, Ed, just real quick, you said you would like a wind here. Would you say like within 2 yards is a good?
Yeah, a step or two. You know, you got to look right here. No, it's not necessary. Let's back this up to the 25-yard line where all those bodies and those two coaches are. Think of yourself as a clock operator. I need some communication here. Okay. Out there, that's kind of out in the open. But, you know, people are going to ask, hey, Ed, 15-yard line or 25-yard line? Well, here we have a little congestion here at the 25. So if you do that there, I'm okay. You will never hear a word from me about he's too far out on the field. You get near the numbers and they should be able to see that. But the two different spots here are 10 yards apart. And inside here to the right is where all the players are. That clock operator is going to need your help.
Okay, makes sense.
Oh, hold it. Steve Cozy. Go ahead, Steve.
In the chat room, Steve Cozy asked if this play was close to the line to gain, explain what we do with the ball.
Okay, good. So we would get the ball, the line of scrimmage official first of all, the line of scrimmage official at the bottom needs to look across and see how close it is. And remember what the guy at the top is doing. I'm sorry, the guy at the bottom is doing. The guy at the bottom is going, okay, I declared the ball dead here, and Steve's getting to where, which means the side zone. Okay, if we have a clear first down, Steve, no measurement necessary, we get it into the umpire. Let's go to work. Let the referee start winding that baby. If it's close, you're going to call for the ball and put it down in the side zone and commence with a decision and or a measurement by the referee. Okay, if he's clearly got a first down, what I would do, Steve, is this. If he's clearly got a first down and it's less than a yard, but he's clearly got a first down, I would kill the clock, put it down, and let everybody take a look at where I'm marking it. And then even then you could let the referee come up and go first down and we go from there. But just don't be in a hurry to get that in there, because the last thing you want to do is put the ball down, pitch it into the umpire, and they go, oh, wait a minute, we need a measurement. Now you got to bring it back out again, and we lose all kind of credibility. Did that answer your question, Steve? Okay.
All right, so next play, this is another neutral legs play. I actually think we could have stopped it a little sooner on this play. You know, obviously everything's a little bit easier when you're watching it on video. But this is what I was talking about. You know, we're starting to get compressed. It's on this hash mark. The short wings at the back of the red here, just giving themselves some extra room. So he's dead, you know, so I think, you know, maybe we took maybe a second too long to kill this one, but obviously neutral legs, we want to shut this down.
When he gets pulled back like that, make mental note, not blow the whistle, make a mental note of where they started to own him. Give him an opportunity for him to be stronger than the tacklers and break out. If he doesn't and they continue to drive him back, go back to your original mental note, 9-yard line, whatever it is.
There is a question in the chat room from Zach Gilbert, piggybacking off Steve's question, mechanics focus. If the short wings leave the sideline to crash, to discuss the spot, what is the best mechanics for a deep wing official? Should we stay deep, or should we go talk to a coach or go to a coach?
No, what the deep wing should do is put into effect the accordion effect. So at that point, we're vulnerable to late hits. Okay. You got the referee trying to look and see what his line of scrimmage guys are doing. You got the umpire looking to unpile players, depending on the type of game. And you have the line of scrimmage people pinching to get an accurate spot on a spot. So what possible thing could the field judge and side judge have? Let me see one of these son of a bitches pick somebody off the pile. That's your job on the outside. Look for pile pickers, field judge and side judge. Who's going to be a jerk on this play? I got no part of blowing a whistle. I got no part of umpiring as Bruce would have. And I've got no part of what Ed and Steve have on the line of scrimmage. I have one job. Look for somebody that's going to ruin my game. Okay. And that doesn't mean flag that. That means if you see two guys skirmishing, you get in there and play cop on the beat, separate those guys. But you just can't take the play off. And especially, you know, one of the 10 commandments is be a great dead ball official. That's how a deep guy can be a great dead ball official. How's that, Zach? You all right?
I don't know if he was expecting the novel to be read, but
Yeah. No, great answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
all right. So now we have the next play. Apparently, we spotted it on 7 here. You know, the H at the bottom of the screen here is going to show some good mechanics. He's moving to the goal line, and then we have a jump ball in the end zone. He freezes at that. I believe that would classify as a mesh point. This way, he could be accurate with his judgment on the play.
Little slower, just a little slower on the line of scrimmage. Okay. Run it back, Steve. Just process it a little bit slower on the line of scrimmage. He goes up pretty quick, and that's kind of what we do at our level. Just, it's going to be a touchdown forever. Catch, down, up too fast. Just let it process. Okay. Nothing happened here. You're absolutely correct. Now let's go back to the beginning of the play. I'm sure we're going to get some questions in the chat room. All right, so the ball's inside the B7. We now have the deep guys on the back line. What are we doing with 2 lines here? We have the goal line and we have the line to gain. Just get to the goal line and come back. It's an easy play, okay? Who's asking that, whistle or not? You don't have to. Okay, deep wing on the left in that position. All right, you know, we can criticize everybody here. Yeah, you can blow the whistle. Yeah, you can blow the whistle. Late and give a late signal. Steve, what are you saying? Bruce, read that for me, please, from Steve.
Yes, he's asking, should the line judge confirm with
Yes.
the deep wing on a TD call?
Yes, on that play there, you just want to make sure you look. There's no doubt. There's no one on this call that doesn't think this is a touchdown. The problem is if he bobbles it, okay? And we're going up. You know, make eye contact with each other. And I agree, the deep wing's out of position here. You got to get a little bit closer to the pylon there. All right. In our high school mechanics, the 2 deep wings in this B7 formation, the red zone formation, you guys actually share a back judge responsibility. So one guy can't be too close to the corner pylon, and nor can you. Got to be closer together and split the difference. I think that's what I saw in the chat room, and that gentleman was absolutely right. What do you got?
Good.
Okay, Tom Becker picked up that the deep wing did not. Very good. Good job. Good. But just, Tom, I still want the line of scrimmage guy to stop and go slower and look for the nod. He went right up. I don't know if he saw the nod, but that's a good pick by you.
Next play, good decisive ruling by the short wings. The player is down. I think we're a little excited here at the bottom with our signaling, but we're still letting everybody know there's no fumble. He's down.
Okay, give the dead ball signal first, okay? Put the dead ball signal up and blow your whistle. We can't hear your whistle, but your whistle's important here too. And just, I'm okay with this sell because you got to sell it. The defense wants fumble. The offense wants, they don't want fumble. Just go slow and just 1 whistle, 2 whistles, have your hand up to get the play clock started. And then you could point down. Under control, looking cool, cruise control. Yeah. It's okay. Hey, it's a correct call. We can work on our mechanics later. Just make the correct call first.
All right, this one.
Is this 1 game?
Yes.
Well, I hope these poor guys aren't on the call. Okay, go ahead. They're doing fine in my book.
I can tell you they are.
Okay.
All right, so, there's pretty obvious illegal formation here. The good thing is we have 2 flags. Ball snap, both wings go up with their flags, throw high in the air, continue to officiate the play. They didn't give up because they threw their flag. They finished the play.
Steve, you mentioned 2 flags here. If you go back to the inception of this play at the snap, you got the official at the bottom punching somebody back. Now the guy at the top's not going to point anybody back because his whiteout is on. But I would get on O to O and go, I'm getting them on this. So we have 2 flags and we just sell the hell out of this call.
Yep, yeah, and that's something I started doing a little later in the year.
Mhm.
Hey Ed, I have 5 here, or something like that. This way.
All right, exactly. I think Bob Masucci and Jerry should be writing that down. This is another thing we could do. Here's the other one. Go back if you can. Steve, real quick. So let's say we had motion, and then let's say the slot at the top, somebody motioned up to the ball at the bottom, and then the slot at the top stayed in motion and came all the way down to the bottom of the screen. Jeff Bergman and I used to say this: 19's got to stop. 19's got to stop. And when he didn't stop, bang, 2 flags, live ball, illegal shifts. That's another thing we can use for O to O on the O to O night coming up in March or April. Ian, what do you got? Is that good? Read that to me.
Yeah, Ian Bouchias is the guy on the bottom close enough to be put on.
Nah, we can't get it. Nah.
That's at least 2 yards.
That's
He's
sloppy.
2 yards off. Yeah, the line of scrimmage is at 42. He's at the 40.
That's not blade of grass. That's Ed Camp standing between the tackle and the wind out. Don't. Yeah, we're good.
Good question, though.
All right, 64. All right, a few things. All right, so we're in a double here, so it makes it a little bit easier for us. I know we only have 6, but keys wise, real quick, deep guys have the outside most, short guys have the slot guys, and then we're going to share that back to whatever side he declares. So now we got that shift that was talking about, a couple guys moving. We need everybody.
Hold right there.
to
Hold
set.
it. Paul's got a good point. Paul, I have no idea where we are in the game. This is not a foul immediately because I think we want to warn them. But you know what? My past season, we don't warn enough. You got to warn them. That is a huge advantage for a tackle to be back like that. Mike, the face mask of the tackle should break the waist of the center.
Yep. So let's see when the snapper gets up. From this angle, it looks pretty close.
Yeah. Look, it's play 64 on Huddle. It's early. We can talk to the kids a little bit, okay? And by the way, when you talk to the kid, you got to go tell the coach, your tackle's too far back. He's too deep.
Yep. So the left tackle is on the same side as the short wing up top, so he could just turn around to the coach real quick. Another thing for the O to O, if it was opposite, he could radio, Steve, talk to the coach. I'm warning the left tackle being too far back.
Right.
And also tell the white hat in the huddle to talk to the left tackle.
The umpire and the referee can help you out with that.
Yeah,
the umpire can help you out with defense pressing the neutral zone as well. So be preventative as much as possible. You don't want to be, too technical out there, but if they're egregious, you got to get them. Now, let me just say this. This happened to one of my guys last year. If it's the first series of the game and the tackle's not paying attention to you, don't call that right away, okay? I'm just telling you. Get a chance for you to get the offense off the field and then say to the coach, 74 is too far back. This is the end of the warnings here. We got to stop that. But you don't want to hit a guy on the second play or third play of the game when he hasn't been off the field yet, because the coach is going to say to you, you didn't give me a chance to warn him, okay? So you warn him as much as you can. You know what? I didn't hear a lot of that this year. And I don't know if you guys do. Do you hear a lot of that?
Warnings in general?
No, tackles being
all the time.
It's a huge problem on Sunday. It's a huge problem on Saturday.
Why don't you call it, Eddie?
Huh? I'm sorry?
Somebody says you got to call it. Here's the Ed, I do have a question though. This left tackle does not, looks like when the play goes off, he doesn't get a 3-point stance.
Yeah.
Is that give him a more advantage?
No, no. The thing is, if you
Okay.
saw the Joey Boza play this week, the tackle was brutal, brutal. And he got like a one-click head start. To me, I watched this play today at Philadelphia and I said, I know that's one click, but he's already cheating. We got to nail him for that. So, I didn't hear, Howard, I didn't hear that much about this year, but just get him up on the line of scrimmage. That's what, you know what the high school kids do? They show run or pass based on that formation. And that's what I would tell the offensive coach. Coach, the defense is going to start seeing this and seeing that kid far back. They're going to know you're throwing the ball. If he's up on the line and it's 3rd and 1, I know what you're doing. You're going to run a dive play off that kid. All right. What are we doing with these trips? Anything? We're good on that? We know wide out and share and declare on the middle guy. And the third guy we got is the line of scrimmage guy at the bottom. The line of scrimmage guy at the top with the chains has the back. And the wide out at the top is the deep wing there. All right.
So at this point, you're going to watch at the bottom, short wing and deep wing are both going to be down on a DPI call here. Good timing. Their flags come out, hit the ground similar times. And one thing I really like is you'll see they'll come together, make sure they're in agreement in the call, and then give a good preliminary. Come together, icon, pass interference, Stephen, agreed, preliminary signal. Anything else on that, Ed?
No, run that back. I just want to talk about man zone ball.
Okay.
All right. So what do we got? Oh, we're going to shift into, all right. So when we talk about keys, go back to the beginning, Steve, starting. I don't know who's been on our calls and who hasn't. So let me help. So right now, if we snap the ball, this is double, okay? But your keys are established at the snap. So we don't have a snap yet. And if we continue forward, we're going to motion into trips at the bottom. Now we have to adjust. Now we got to say we got trips, which stop right there. The wide out at the bottom would be the deep wing. Let's skip over the middle guy. That the third receiver in would be the line of scrimmage guy for sure. And then we're going to share and declare number 2. And guess what? We're in good shape because the nearest defender is at the minus 48-yard line. So that's good. When you get impressed 3-on-3, now this becomes a problem, okay? Except for those guys that work the super games with the 7. That was a picnic for you guys. Now let's run the play. And I got to tell you, I'll tell you when to stop. All right, let's stop right there. Stop right there. Okay, so the phases of covering pass, some of you have heard this a million times from me and nothing changes. When you cover a pass, you have man. That means if your initial key at the snap is threatened, you got to look for 2 things because the ball isn't in the air yet. You're going to look for defensive holding by the defense or OPI by the offense. Okay, that's the man phase. The man phase could also be called the key phase, the initial responsibility phase. I'm looking at who I'm looking at the snap. And then we go zone. So if one of these deep receivers were to go deep, then the deep official would take him. If somebody were to go short, then we would take it on the line of scrimmage. So it's man zone. And then once they throw the ball, as many officials that are in close proximity have got to get to the ball. Let's see what phase we would be in here with this contact. That's ball. Okay. And when you have ball, good job. 2 guys go to the ball and they do a heck of a job of getting the flags down. That's a really good job by these guys. So you have man, which is the initial responsibility. Zone, somebody left my area and someone else is coming into my area, but now we have ball. These 2 guys did exactly what we want them to do, get to the ball. Hey, there's a couple of questions, so let's go back to that, Bruce. Go ahead.
Okay, question from Zach. If this foul occurs in the last 2 minutes of the half and the pass is completed, does A have the option to start the clock on the snap?
In the last 2 minutes and a half, a foul, yes. Yeah, good. point.
Yes. So the rule change was they no longer have to accept the foul to have the option.
Yep. It's a good one. All right. We had another one in there I missed.
Um,
And I got text messages coming in. Go ahead.
it says it gets worse on the sub-varsity level, coach them up type of thing. I don't really no question that.
Yeah. Be careful on Mondays. I know what that's like.
All right, we're good?
Yeah, that was a
Yep, moving along.
great job. Real good job by those two guys.
Okay, so the end of this play is just the end of the quarter, and I wanted to point out nothing special on the play. But boom, finish the play. Okay, your quarter's over. The wing at the top now, and he's grabbing his book. You have to write everything down, just in case something happens. You have a brain fart, you forget where the clip is, down, distance, clip position, etc. So, just make sure you write everything down. Even if you're not on the change, all the officials should be writing this down in case if it's me at the top, I screw up.
Okay, hold on. Run that back. I got some problems here. All right. I want you to look. We're going to go through this play twice. I want you to look at the official at the bottom. He knows the quarter is almost over. Stop now. All right. Now, you've got about 12 opponents right there in the middle. Watch the guy at the bottom. Why are you looking away? Something could happen there. Okay. Now let's stop. Stop right now. Hold it, Steve. Why is the chain crew guy going to get the chain? The umpire is the only guy dead ball officiating here. This is bad dead ball officiating. The first guy is looking at the clock, and the second guy is going, okay, I got to write this stuff down. Where are we going? Slow down, write it all down, and make sure that white's going down and purple's going down, escorted by whoever else is left here. Okay, this could make up. And I don't know if this game was a testy game, but if you have a testy game like this and you turn your back on them, you got a problem. Be great dead ball officials first. All right. We good on that?
Yep.
All right.
Okay. And then, just take a mental note. We're going from the 34 to the 44.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to that too. Hold it. Go back to that one. All right. So when this line of scrimmage official at the top is going to do the chains, run the play. So it's going to be 2nd and whatever, 2nd and 4. Okay. Side judge, come down there and make sure you know where the clip is, or field judge, make sure you know where the clip is. You're writing it down along with them. I don't know if you guys come into the middle and talk. That would be fine. I'm all right with that. But somebody's got to realize on that top sideline that when we flip them, the clip's in the right space and we have the right down and distance. And that should be a 2-person operation.
Okay. And
Everybody's going quick. Look at the coaches in purple. They're out on the field.
I grabbed the wrong play, but the next one was just to show we put the chains in the right spot.
Okay.
All right. So we have 4th and 2. Remember, on 4th and short, 3 or less, we're officiating the line to gain the same we would the goal line from the 7 and in. So both short wings do a nice job here getting to the line to gain. Remember, you want to move with a purpose, but you don't want to lose sight of what you're actually officiating.
Treat it like the goal line. Just go there.
And you know what? This is something also good for the O to O, just to remind each other, 4th and short, because we don't have this often.
Right. Steve, we're going to the goal line, right? Right. We're going to the goal line. All right. Good job.
The next play, this is a good illustration of the rule change from last year for intentional grounding. The passers are going to get out of the pocket and the ball's going to be thrown to pass the line of scrimmage. The line of scrimmage officials need to know if that ball crossed the line of scrimmage, the referee needs to know if he's out of the pocket, tackle box, whatever terminology you want to use. Free blocking zone, etc. He dumps the ball away, clearly beyond. That's it.
Okay, we got to get, this is a crew call now, right? We got to get the official at the bottom to either point to the line of scrimmage that he made it or point to a receiver that's in the area. You can even go with both because 34 is an eligible receiver right there. Yeah, there was a question in the chat room I saw somebody come up with. What do you got, Bruce?
So now we see the left tackle from a new angle. What do we think now?
Go ahead.
Well, it's a
This
different
is,
team.
you know,
It's a different team.
Yeah.
Previous play, go to the previous play.
Nah, he's all right. Listen, you got to be careful with angles.
Nah, he's good.
No,
Yeah.
you be careful with angles, guys. Okay, let's see some daylight between the center's mask and I'm sorry, the center's waist and the mask. And if you're in doubt, go warn the kid. Okay, if you warn them enough times, they get scared shitless and they're just going to move up on the line of scrimmage. Okay, so referee knows out of the pocket. Line of scrimmage guy knows where the ball went, and the line of scrimmage goes around the world, as we said when we made that rule change. Good to go. Don't be a knucklehead like me. I threw an IDP on this year. Okay, I threw illegal man downfield on this play, and we didn't call it. Obviously, they took the result of the play, but one of my officials came in. Who's watching? And Joe, Joe, the offside guy's got nothing to do. You should be looking for that. All right, Joe. The offside guy should be looking for ineligibles downfield. We have nothing to do.
Yep. And
hold it, Anthony, the ball does not have to cross the line inbounds. Okay. I just said the goal line goes around the world. So if he throws it behind the line of scrimmage stake and it goes beyond out of bounds, we're letting them do that. That's the whole purpose to the rule change.
Ed, are you okay here with just getting on the radio, the ball crossed?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm all for game management and getting a game flow going on. Okay. You got it, Anthony. No problem.
All right. So this is just a fundamental. We have a false start. We're going to blow our whistle. We're going to throw the flag, blow, then throw high and straight up, and then kill the clock and give preliminary. I think maybe the line scrimmage official at the top is a little excited, running in a little hard, but let's see what Ed thinks about that.
Kill that. That's not motion. That's a kill. And the reason why you kill it because we're not going to let anything get to. Let me explain why we kill that philosophically. Some of the rules monsters on here can say, well, that's moving forward at the snap. That's enough for me because if he moves forward at the snap and we allow this to be a live ball foul, stop right there. And that kid holds him because he got beat by that motion, we're going to have an offset. And who screwed this play up from the outset? The kid leaning forward. Make it sudden and abrupt. Make it a false start. Now, the thing you got to be careful of is when the interior linemen move. Okay, you can't give preliminary there because there's a lot of shared responsibility. The line of scrimmage guys have the neutral zone, they have their tackles. The umpire and referee have guards or tackles as well. So, but here, there's only one person that can make this call and is allowed to make this call with the preliminary signal. That would be the official at the top. What is Marcus telling me? As a line judge, what?
As a line judge, do we throw the flag on the side of the ball?
No, never. Don't ever do that. I can't stand that. Throw the ball up in the air. We've been doing that for 40 years. And 40 years of coaches know that if you throw it one way and the other guy comes back and says, no, what are you, lazy? Throw it straight up in the air. It tells all of us that we have to get in and separate those players. Do not throw it. It's not a spot foul. There's no such thing as a spot foul on infractions like that. False start, encroachment, illegal motion, illegal shift, straight up in the air. Never, ever, ever throw it towards the team that's, people do that. You know why? They're lazy. Oh, I'm going to walk that 5 yards anyway. My flag will be there when I get there. Really? Really?
And then
And I know a few of my friends are on here and still do it, but go ahead.
if Ed, if you and I are on the line of scrimmage together and we have one to play, maybe you had the defense going first, I had offense, and we need to talk about it.
It's a flag, a kill, and we come together away from players.
Exactly.
We have that discussion.
But
Who'd
my
you have
point
move
is,
first? What do
if
you
we
have?
have, if we have flags on opposite sides of the line of scrimmage, it doesn't look good.
Oh, exactly right. And I'm telling you, I'm in this business for 42 years. I used to do this. So I'm not getting on you here. I used to do that, but that's exactly the play that got me in trouble. My partner threw it to that side, and after 40 years, they know that stuff. You know, it's like the onside kick. You know, I'm going to go in and we did this 45 years ago. I'm going to go in and I'm going to ask the kicker, and then I'll tap my hat. You don't think after 45 years, the coaches know that when you grab your hat, an onside kick is coming? Like, don't even ask. Just play every kickoff as an onside kick. Go ahead.
Okay. Next play.
I got
We're gonna
fired
have
up
a-
there, Mark, and sorry about that.
We're gonna have a decent gain here. You're gonna see the wing at the bottom as when he comes back into the screen. He's killing the clock on the run. I think the
No.
deep wing is close enough here where he should be killing the clock as well. And help out the short wing here with the spot. You got a good idea where it is.
No,
We're coming
I
from 30 yards
disagree.
away.
I disagree 100%.
You
When this
disagree?
kid, no, the only time we want the short wing to get that is if the sidelines involved right where they are. The deep wing, Jim Kapoor is on here. The deep wing needs a cushion. Okay, I'm tired of what I'm seeing on Sunday with every deep wing getting beat on every single play. That can't be. We have to show some athleticism here. I want the deep wing back. Run the play back, Steve. I'm sorry. Do not want the Jim, weigh in on this. I don't think we want the deep wing coming back.
So he didn't get a good cushion in the first place.
Right.
To your point, Ed, right now he should be around the 25-yard line. Okay. And he's coming up. But so if he's going to come up that far, which he shouldn't, then he should get to spot. If this is a 45-yard pass down the field, it's a little bit more obvious, but at least stop the clock. You know, it's a first down.
Yeah.
Okay. It looks terrible when you're giving a dead ball signal as a deep wing on this play. I think it was a 21-yard gain without stopping the clock. I mean, you just killed the clock. To Ed's point, in the ideal world, the short wing would come down, get the spot. But again, this deep wing didn't have too much of a cushion, so you kind of read that situation. But the right way to do it would be the short wing would come down, and as he's running down, kill the clock. It's clearly a first down. Deep wing, stay deep if you can. If you don't have a cushion, okay, at least stop the clock. Giving a dead ball signal there there's no need. It's totally superfluous.
And for a 21-yard gain, that's obviously a first down. We can let the short wing miss this. We can't let the deep wing, if this kid catches the ball and takes off down the road, we can't be having that deep wing bringing up a touchdown from the 5-yard line. We'll lose our 6 man. We'll be back to 5 again, you know, because these are the plays that made 6 men come into fruition 9 years ago. So, you know, it's not a real critical spot. Put it on the 30-yard line. Let's go play ball.
Hey, Ed.
Hold on. What is Howard saying? Howard's a ref, isn't he?
Oh, he changed around.
Hey, Ed.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dave.
Dave Race here. This is another good opportunity to use the 0-2-0.
Absolutely.
The deep wing to yell out the yard line to the deep wing as he's coming
That's
down.
exactly what we want. And you could do that on the sideline as well. If I'm trailing a kickoff play and I'm 40 yards behind, I'll kill the play. Howard, you get a deep cushion on that. And when I come up, you go 43-yard line right there. And it's seamless. Same thing here. If there's somebody that's held up by this play, just go 30-yard line. But as Jim says, clock status is critical here. Kill the clock. You know we've passed the line to gain and we're in bounds. All right. The only time that I would allow, as our first comment on this play, if they throw a ball right at Jim Kapoor's feet and he has to rule on catch, no catch, you take the spot. and I'll just come up and get a new ball for you. That's all. All right, more questions? I'm seeing somebody in here. Hold it. Anthony?
Anthony says, should a deep kill the clock? No, it should be the short wing coming up, right?
The deep wing can kill the clock. If he knows that the ball is past the line to gain, he becomes the other clock operator, as I said earlier, right? The deep wings and the short wings are our clock operators. Now, what would a deep wing do at the end of a punt? He would kill the clock, right? Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, yeah, thanks for clarifying that. That's
No,
what I
those are
meant by-
great questions. Good job.
But that's what I meant by the deep wing helping with the spot is to communicate to the short wing coming up, not necessarily get the spot.
Not get the spot.
Yeah.
And Steve, you can just leave this frame right here for a second, okay?
Sure.
If nothing else, let's make sure everyone notices the umpire who was willing to move outside the hash marks to get the ball.
Yep.
Because 10 years ago or less, this probably would not be the optic that we're looking at.
Right.
Okay. Thanks for the clarifications. Just a few more plays and we're done. So this one, we have another, goal line scenario. We're snapping from, inside the -7. We have the short wings working towards the goal line. And then they come back into the field of play and then decisively first down.
Well done. Well done.
And, this is where I say, for me, having at least an idea that line to gains at the 1 would help me out there.
Right.
It's a little easier when it's the 1 yard line, but. Okay, this is one I know is going to be near to Jim's heart. We have a first down inbounds near the sideline. We're only giving one signal here. Boom, boom, killing the clock. Get the spot, and then we communicate to the referee, hey, we're hot here.
You communicate to the referee, the quarterback, and both coaches. We're
Another
going
use,
on the ready, especially late in the game.
yep, O to O to let your partner know so he can communicate to his coach.
Right. No wind and kill.
Okay, and then just this last one is to illustrate we can spot the ball in between tick marks. Okay, don't be afraid to do that. Obviously, on a change of possession, we're going to want to start it on a yard line, but you can spot the ball in between, and it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Some people will say, well, what if you get into the half the distance scenario? You deal with it, okay? But give them what they earn. You can see on the next play, the ball is spotted in between.
No, that's wrong, Howard. If it's 4th and 1 and they just get it over the line for a first down, you put it where it's supposed to be. It's a whole new train of thought. We're going to, the word is attention to detail. Coaches are starting to notice that we are being a little bit sloppy with that. You get an interception, you get a change possession on a punt, find a spot, okay? But if a guy goes for on 4th down and he had to get a half a yard over and that's all he gets, that's all he gets. We'll deal with it.
Yep.
And I was
Hey,
guilty.
everyone. That was the last play I had. So
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for attending. Ed, Jim, Scott, anybody
Thank
have
you.
any closing remarks?
Yeah, just real quick. Great job, Steve. Great job, Ed. Always entertaining and very informative. Just a few things. Again, a reminder, the next session will be February 8th at 7:30, and Jim Kapoor will be presenting. Just so everybody knows the topics we'll be covering over the next, again, and one thing we did leave out prior, we will be having, this was the first of 9 sessions that we'll be having from now until July. So a lot of topics that we'll be covering will be safety fouls, unnecessary roughness fouls, kicking game, like Steve and Ed said, unusual plays, intentional grounding, holding, pregame procedures, O2O conversation, and OPI, DPI. So there'll be a lot of topics covered. So don't think that we're just limiting them to certain areas. And it was a great job tonight. The other things, want to touch on two other things before we let everybody go for the evening. In the next couple of weeks, you'll be hearing about the NFHS rule changes, so look for them with probably be a media release, so everybody will see those. And want to talk about the Sayreville Clinic in the summer. That'll be taking place on August 5th. And it will, as we stated, be at Sayreville High School again, and look for the registration for the clinic to open up somewhere around May 17th. So the committee has already met one time, and I'm sure they'll be planning for bigger and better clinic this year. Last year was a great session, so looking forward to it in, this year. Other than that, unless anybody has anything, we can close out for the evening. It was good attendance tonight, and appreciate the first one for the 2023 season. Great job again by Steve and Ed. And
Scott?
yes, go ahead.
Scott, can I say something? Chris Malnick put something in the chat room. The Snow Bowl this year, guys, March 3rd to the 5th up the Meadowlands. Get a hold of Chris. He does a great job every year with that and helping out some underprivileged kids in the Special Olympics and stuff like that. So just be mindful of the fact it's March 3rd to the 5th.
Thank you. If anybody doesn't have anything else, I want to tell everybody to enjoy the rest of the week and go Eagles. Had to throw that in there for you North
Really?
guys. Wow. Go Eagles.
That was for Ed.
All right, guys. Thank you. Great job.
Night,
Thanks for
everyone.
everybody's participation.
Hey, everybody.